Construction worker wins the lottery, tries to hide the prize from his wife and trick her. But in the divorce reveals a bombastic secret. Edelson, who was 43 and worked as a construction worker, had a happy marriage with Silvana, was 47. They led a simple life, but their love and companionship made it rich, even though they faced financial struggles. Silvana, a stay-at-home mom, managed everything perfectly, keeping the house in order and paying the bills. They didn't have luxury, but they had something even more valuable: love and partnership. Everything changed the day Edelson discovered he had won the lottery. He was stunned when he checked the numbers and realized he had won an enormous fortune. The lottery ticket was there, holding the promise of a new life filled with wealth, free from the daily financial worries. At first, Edelson thought about telling Silvana, but soon, a more selfish idea popped into his mind. He wanted the money just for himself. After all, he was the one who bought the lottery tickets every week with the spare change he saved up. Silvana wouldn't know what to do with all that money, Edelson thought. Edelson, with his twisted logic, decided that the best way to keep the lottery prize was to get a divorce. Without wasting any time, he started planning the separation. First, he went to the courthouse and got the necessary documents. He wanted to make sure that Silvana wouldn't get any of the lottery money, so he thought through every detail to make sure she wouldn't suspect anything. One day, while chatting with his talkative and curious neighbor, Mrs. Isabel, Edelson casually mentioned his lottery win with a bit of smugness. Mrs. Isabel was surprised, but it was his daughter Olivia, who was 21 years old, that really caught him off guard. Olivia, a law student, was furious when she heard about Edelson's plan to hide the money from Silvana. She knew it was morally wrong and possibly illegal. Olivia decided she needed to help Silvana but needed time to figure out the best way to do it. She had known Silvana since she was a child and couldn't let something so unfair happen to such a good person. Edelson was excited about his plan, thinking he had everything under control. The next day, he decided it was time to act. Sitting at the kitchen table, he watched Silvana as she prepared breakfast. Edelson was nervous, but he thought it was the right moment to present the divorce papers. After a few minutes of silence, he finally spoke up. "Silvana, we need to talk," he said, trying to sound firm. Silvana turned to him with a mix of curiosity and worry. "What's going on, Edelson? Did something happen?" Edelson took a deep breath and placed the papers on the table. "I want a divorce." Silvana was stunned, unable to process what she was hearing. "What? Why? What happened?" "I just don't love you anymore, Silvana. I think it's better for both of us to go our separate ways," he lied, trying to sound convincing. Silvana picked up the papers and began flipping through them, still in disbelief. "This doesn't make sense. We've always had a good marriage. What suddenly changed?" "There's nothing strange. It just got tired," Edelson replied, avoiding her gaze. Silvana felt a lump in her throat, but something inside her told her there was more to the story. She knew Edelson was hiding something. Determined to find out the truth, she put the papers back on the table and said firmly, "I'm not signing this. Not until I know what's really going on." Edelson tried to argue more, but Silvana, heartbroken, left the kitchen and went outside, alone with her thoughts. She knew she needed help and knew exactly where to go. Silvana went to Dona Isabel's house and found Olivia, Isabel's daughter, studying in the living room. Silvana sat next to Olivia and told her everything about Edelson's divorce request. With tears in her eyes, she said, "He said he doesn't love me anymore, but I feel like something is wrong. I don't know what to do." Olivia, who already knew part of the story, took Silvana's hand and said, "Aunt Silvana, I need to tell you something important about Edelson and the lottery." Silvana looked at Olivia, confused. "Lottery? What are you talking about?" Olivia explained everything she had heard between Edelson and her mother, Isabel. She revealed that Edelson had won the lottery and was planning the divorce to keep all the money. "I knew he was hiding something," said Silvana, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. "But I didn't expect this from him." "We need to act quickly," said Olivia. "I'll talk to my professors and some experienced lawyers to see how we can handle this. Don't worry, we'll find a way to fix this." In the following days, Olivia consulted various law professors and experienced lawyers to find out how to protect Silvana's rights and ensure that Edelson didn't get away with his attempt to deceive her. Meanwhile, Silvana started watching Edelson more closely, trying to find any clues about the lottery ticket. Silvana knew that if she could find the lottery ticket, she would have a strong case to confront Edelson. Meanwhile, Edelson kept pressuring Silvana to sign the divorce papers. She remained firm. She knew the truth was about to come out, and that, with Olivia's help, she could stand up to Edelson and claim what was rightfully hers. Silvana and Olivia sat at Dona Isabel's kitchen table, with a detailed plan laid out in front of them. They knew they needed to be careful, but they also understood that time was running out. Edelson kept pushing Silvana to sign the papers, and every day he grew more insistent and impatient. "First, we need to find the ticket," Olivia said, pointing to the first step of their plan. "Without it, our chances of success drop significantly." Silvana nodded. "He always takes his wallet with him, but sometimes he leaves it at home, like when he's taking a shower or sleeping. We need to use those moments." Olivia agreed. "Also, we need to document everything. We need proof that he's trying to hide the lottery ticket from you to benefit from the divorce. This will be crucial if we have to go to court." With the plan set, Silvana went home, determined to follow each step carefully. She started watching Edelson more closely, paying attention to his habits and routines. Every time he left his wallet out of sight was a chance to find the ticket. Meanwhile, Olivia was busy seeking advice from her professors and lawyers. She discussed the case in detail and got guidance on how to proceed legally. The lawyers suggested several strategies, including asking the court to stop the divorce until the lottery ticket issue was resolved. That night, Edelson was especially pushy. He handed the divorce papers to Silvana again, looking very frustrated. "Silvana, this has to end. Why are you making this so difficult?" he asked, trying to stay calm. Silvana looked straight into Edelson's eyes and said, "I'm not signing anything until I know the truth. You're hiding something from me, and I won't give up until I find out what it is." Edelson tried to hide his irritation. "There's nothing to find out. Just sign the papers and move on," he said, annoyed. Silvana stood her ground. "I'm not signing until I know the truth." Edelson huffed and left the room, leaving Silvana alone. She knew she was playing a risky game, but she was determined not to give in. Days went by, and the tension in the house kept rising. Edelson was getting more and more nervous and suspicious, and Silvana knew she needed to act soon. Finally, chance she had been waiting for came. One night, Edelson left his wallet on the kitchen table before going to take a shower. Silvana waited until she heard the shower running, then quietly approached the table. With trembling hands, she opened the wallet and began searching for the lottery ticket. Silvana's heart raced when she found a small piece of paper hidden among some receipts. It was the lottery ticket that could change their lives forever. Silvana quickly took the ticket and hid it in a safe place. When Edelson came out of the shower, Silvana was sitting calmly at the table, as if nothing had happened. He didn't notice the ticket was missing and continued with his routine, still thinking he was in control. The next morning, Silvana went to Dona Isabel's house to meet with Olivia. They reviewed the plan and discussed their next steps. Olivia was confident that with the ticket in hand, they could confront Edelson and make sure Silvana got her fair share of the prize. "Now that we have the ticket, we need to be ready for anything," Olivia said. "Let's set up a meeting at the notary, and when Edelson least expects it, we'll reveal everything." Edelson kept insisting that Silvana sign the divorce papers. 2 days after finding the ticket, Silvana approached Edelson during breakfast. She knew she needed to be careful. "Edelson, I've thought a lot about this," Silvana said, keeping her voice calm. "I'm ready to sign the divorce paper." Edelson looked at her, surprised. A satisfied smile spread across his face. "Finally, Silvana. I thought we'd never get to this point. Let's finish this." Silvana took a deep breath, knowing she needed to stay calm for the plan to work. "But I need 2 days to prepare myself mentally. This is all so sudden, and I need some time to process it," Silvana said, trying to stay calm. Edelson, feeling confident that he had won, nodded. "All right, Silvana. 2 days, but not more than that." Silvana nodded and walked away, pretending to give in. Edelson, so sure that Silvana was giving up, didn't even think to check his wallet. He was so convinced that Silvana was surrendering that he didn't notice the lottery ticket was already gone. Silvana felt a mix of relief and nervousness. She knew she had 2 days to finish the plan with Olivia and make sure the truth came out. While Edelson thought everything was going according to his plan, Silvana and Olivia were getting ready to turn the tables. With 2 days to prepare, Silvana and Olivia knew they needed to be meticulous with every detail. The final showdown was about to begin, and Silvana was determined to fight for what was rightfully hers. Silvana returned to Dona Isabel's house, where Olivia was waiting with a determined look. They knew the next 2 days would be crucial to ensure Edelson wouldn't escape the consequences of his action. "We don't have much time, Aunt Silvana," Olivia said, adjusting her glasses while going through a pile of documents. "We need to make sure everything is in order for the divorce day." Silvana nodded, feeling the weight of the situation. "I'm ready. What do we need to do first?" Olivia smiled, appreciating Silvana's determination. "First, we need to talk to the lawyers. They'll help us prepare all the necessary documents and come up with the best strategy to make sure Edelson can't escape." They spent the rest of the day meeting with top lawyers, who listened carefully to Silvana's story. The lawyers were really upset with Edelson's actions and promised to do everything they could to protect Silvana's rights. "We need solid evidence," said one of the lawyers, reviewing the case. "The lottery ticket will be our main piece of evidence, but we also need documents showing he was trying to deceive you, Silvana." Silvana explained how she had found the ticket in Edelson's wallet and handed it to the lawyer. "Here it is. I hope this helps." "It's a good start," replied the lawyer, "but we need more. We'll prepare a formal statement and gather all the additional evidence we can." Over the next 2 days, Silvana and Olivia worked tirelessly. They collected text messages, recorded conversations, and any other documents that might help. Lawyers prepared a detailed petition to present in court if needed. Additionally, Olivia met with her law professors, who gave valuable advice and moral support. "You're doing the right thing, Olivia," said one of the professors. "Defending justice and protecting the innocent is what motivates us to study and practice law." With all the legal details covered, Silvana and Olivia mentally prepared for the big showdown. They knew the divorce day would be tense and emotional, but they were determined to face Edelson and make sure he didn't escape the consequence. The night before the court meeting, Silvana sat down with Olivia and Dona Isabel. "I couldn't do this without you," Silvana said, feeling emotional. "Thank you for being by my side." "You're a strong woman, Aunt Silvana," Olivia said, holding her hand. "We'll make sure justice prevails." Dona Isabel, with tears in her eyes, gave Silvana a big hug. "We're all here for you, my dear. Everything will be all right." The day of the divorce had finally arrived. Silvana woke up early, feeling a mix of nerves and determination. She dressed carefully, choosing an outfit that made her feel confident and strong. She knew she would face Edelson with her head held high and was ready to fight for what was rightfully hers. Olivia and the lawyers arrived early to accompany her to the courthouse. They reviewed the documents one last time, making sure everything was in order. "It will be all right, Aunt Silvana," Olivia said, trying to convey calm and confidence. "We're all with you." Silvana smiled gratefully and, with Olivia and the lawyers by her side, headed to the courthouse. When they arrived, Edelson was already there, looking smug and confident. He thought he was about to get exactly what he wanted. "Silvana, finally," Edelson said when he saw her walk in. "Let's get this over with." Silvana looked at him and stayed calm. "Yes, Edelson. Let's." They sat down at the table where the divorce papers were ready to be signed. The court official began explaining the procedures. Silvana and Edelson signed the papers, finalizing the divorce. After signing the papers, Edelson leaned back in his chair with a triumphant smile. "Before we say goodbye, Silvana, I have a surprise for you." Silvana looked at him, pretending to be curious. "What is it?" Edelson, with a proud smile, said, "I won the lottery." Silvana kept a neutral expression while Olivia and the lawyers watched closely. "You won what?" "That's right," Edelson continued with arrogance. "I won a fortune in the lottery. Now that we're divorced, I don't have to share anything with you. All the money is mine." Silvana remained calm and looked directly at Edelson. "Is it true, Edelson? Did you really win the lottery?" Yes, it's true, Edelson replied with a superior grin. Now that you're out of my life, I can enjoy everything on my own. Silvana then pulled a lottery ticket from her pocket and placed it on the table. Are you talking about this ticket, Edelson? Edelson's confident expression instantly changed to shock. What? How did you get that? I found it in your wallet, Silvana said firmly. I've already claimed the prize. The money is in my account now. Edelson turned pale, unable to believe it. This can't be true. You can't do this, Edelson said, looking shocked and nervous. Silvana turned to the lawyers, who started explaining everything. Edelson, you tried to trick me into taking all the money, but now the truth is on my side, and I have proof that you've been hiding this from me the whole time. The lawyers presented all the documents and evidence, including Silvana's statement and recordings of conversations. Clerk listened carefully and understood how serious the situation was. Edelson tried to argue, but he was clearly cornered. He never expected Silvana to uncover his plan so quickly. His arrogance and greed had been his downfall. Silvana, feeling stronger than ever, looked at Edelson with determination. You tried to betray me, Edelson, but I'm not a weak woman, and now justice will be served. After the big revelation at the clerk's office, Edelson was stunned. He couldn't believe that Silvana had figured everything out and already claimed the lottery prize. Desperate and with no other options, he tried one last move to save his fortune. Silvana, wait, Edelson said, his voice trembling with desperation. We don't have to do this. We can undo the divorce. I still love you. We can start over. Silvana looked at Edelson with a serious but calm expression. Edelson, you don't love me. If you really did, you wouldn't have tried to trick me like this. All you want is the money. Edelson shook his head, trying to look sincere. No, Silvana, I was confused. I made a mistake. Let's start over. We can fix this together. Silvana knew that Edelson was just trying to save himself. She had already seen his true colors and wasn't willing to go back. But at the same time, she didn't want to be as cruel as he had been. Edelson, I'm not going to undo the divorce, Silvana said firmly. But despite what you did, I believe in justice and generosity. Let's split the prize fairly. Half for you and half for me. Edelson looked at her, surprised. Are you serious, even after everything I did? Yes, I'm serious, Silvana replied. I'm not like you, Edelson. I believe in doing the right thing. And the right thing is to divide the prize since we were married when you won. The lawyers were impressed by Silvana's generosity. They began preparing the necessary documents to divide the prize, ensuring everything was done legally and fairly. Edelson, still shocked by Silvana's offer, finally agreed. He knew that, after everything, this was the best offer he could get. All right, Silvana, let's split the prize. As the lawyers worked on the documents, Edelson stepped aside, reflecting on his actions. He realized he had lost much more than just money. He had lost Silvana's trust and respect, and now, even with half the prize, his victory felt empty. Silvana felt at peace. She knew she had done the right thing, not just for herself, but to show Edelson that honesty and fairness always win. However, the lawyers needed 3 days to get all the papers ready to split the prize. The sun was high in the sky when Silvana and Edelson returned to the office to finalize the lottery prize split. The atmosphere was tense, but Silvana felt calm inside. She knew she was doing the right thing, not only for herself, but to prove that, even after betrayal, justice and integrity prevail. The lawyers had worked diligently over the past few days, making sure every detail was covered and that the division of the money was fair. Silvana walked into the office with Olivia by her side, feeling strengthened by the young woman's unwavering support throughout the ordeal. Edelson was waiting, his face showing resignation. He knew there was no turning back. The office clerk greeted them and asked them to sit down. Mr. and Mrs., we're here to finalize the division of the lottery prize. Clerk began. Both of you agreed to split the prize equally. Let's proceed with signing the document. Silvana and Edelson signed the papers, officially splitting the prize, half for Silvana and half for Edelson. As the last signature was made, Silvana felt a huge relief. The battle was finally over. Edelson, with his shoulders slumped, looked at Silvana and said, I hope you find happiness, Silvana. Silvana looked back and responded in a firm but kind voice, I hope you find your way, Edelson. With that, Silvana stood up and left the office, feeling the weight of the past events starting to lift. Olivia followed her, holding her hand in a gesture of support. "You are amazing, Aunt Silvana," Olivia said with a proud smile. "I'm so proud of you." Silvana smiled back at Olivia and said, "I couldn't have done this without you, my dear. Your help was invaluable." On the way home, Silvana began to think about how to use her share of the prize for good. An idea came to her mind, and she knew exactly what to do. When they got home, Silvana called Donna Isabel and Olivia for a talk. "I want to do something to show my gratitude," Silvana said with a sparkle in her eyes. "I want to help you, just like you helped me." Donna Isabel and Olivia were surprised. Silvana decided to use part of the money to pay for Olivia's education. She knew Olivia had a bright future ahead and wanted to make sure she had every chance to succeed. Additionally, Silvana also planned to help Donna Isabel's family by providing financial support to help them live more comfortably and securely. In the following weeks, everyone's lives began to change. With the lottery money, Silvana made smart investments, ensuring a safe and stable future for herself and those around her. The generosity and kindness Silvana showed only strengthened the bonds of friendship and affection with Olivia and her family. Olivia, in turn, threw herself into her studies, determined to graduate and become a lawyer. She knew Silvana believed in her and wanted to honor that trust. Over time, Silvana's life changed for the better. Silvana's generosity in splitting the lottery prize not only secured her financial future, but also provided a promising future for Olivia. The seeds of hope she planted started to bear fruit, and Olivia worked hard to honor the trust and support she received. After all the hard work and dedication, Olivia's graduation day finally arrived. Silvana, Donna Isabel, and many friends and family gathered to celebrate. The air was filled with pride and joy. "I'm so proud of you, Olivia," Silvana said with tears of happiness in her eyes. "You worked so hard to get here, and I know you have a bright future ahead." Olivia smiled, touched. "I couldn't have done it without your support, Aunt Silvana. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me." After graduation, Olivia landed a job at the biggest law firm in town, known for its excellence. Her talent quickly shone through, and she started building a remarkable career. Silvana decided to use part of her lottery winnings to start a new venture. She bought a building in town and opened a craft store. The business took off quickly, attracting customers with its authenticity and quality. Silvana, always humble, continued to work hard and build a new life for herself. Her bond with Olivia grew even stronger. Silvana often sought legal advice from Olivia, who was more than happy to help. They formed an amazing partnership, combining Silvana's life experience with Olivia's youthful legal expertise. Beyond their professional relationship, their friendship deepened. They became true confidants, sharing both joy and challenges. Silvana found in Olivia not just a great lawyer, but a loyal friend. One afternoon, while having tea in Olivia's office, Silvana reflected on their journey together. "Life is full of surprises, isn't it, Olivia? Who would have thought that after everything we went through, we'd be here, building something so beautiful together?" Olivia smiled and agreed. "Yes, Aunt Silvana. It just shows how resilient and strong you are. You turned a difficult situation into an opportunity for growth and renewal. It's an inspiration to all of us." Silvana smiled, feeling deep gratitude. "And you, Olivia, showed me that there is always hope and that goodness always prevails. I'm very grateful to have you by my side." Over time, Silvana became a respected and beloved figure in the community. Her craft store thrived, and she became a mentor to many young women, encouraging them to pursue their dreams and never give up, no matter the obstacles they faced. Olivia, now a successful lawyer, continued to fight for justice, inspired by Silvana's example. Together, they not only transformed their own lives, but also positively impacted the community around them. As Silvana and Olivia thrived in their new lives, Edelson faced a very different reality. After splitting the lottery winnings, he thought his fortune was secured. However, his lack of planning and impulsiveness quickly turned his wealth into a financial disaster. Edelson started spending money recklessly. Lavish parties, extravagant trips, and impulse buys became regular in his life. Greedy friends and opportunistic acquaintances took advantage of his generosity, exploiting his newfound fortune. Without knowing how to manage his money, Edelson saw his fortune slip away very quickly. In less than a year, he was nearly broke with huge debts. Lavish parties and trips became distant memories, and creditors started knocking at his door. Without the friends who vanished as quickly as they appeared, Edelson found himself alone, dealing with the consequences of his choices. Sitting in his small apartment, so different from the luxurious house he once dreamed of, he reflected on his life. He realized that greed and arrogance not only drove him away from Silvana, but also ruined his chance for a stable and happy future. He felt the weight of betrayals and mistakes. With no money and no friends, Edelson began searching for jobs to support himself, but his age and reputation made it very tough. He regretted the missed opportunities and the life he could have had if he had made different choices. Every day, Edelson felt the impact of his actions. He learned the hard way that money alone doesn't bring happiness or stability. What truly matters are good relationships, honesty, and integrity, lessons he learned too late. As Edelson sank into his own failures, Silvana thrived with her new life of generosity and justice. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more stories like this. Leave a like and comment below on what you thought. See you in the next video.